Welcome to my IKEA set.
Thank you.
You get a whole couch to yourself. Make yourself at home.
It's too much space. It's too
I
much
really
space.
like your outfit.
Oh,
you
thank
look
you very much.
cozy.
It is. It's a little cold here.
Yeah, it is.
So just appropriately for once, yeah.
Do you live in a cold climate area or a warmer climate area?
On and off.
Okay.
It depends.
That
Depends
makes
on
sense.
seasonality and
On the
like
job.
what kind of yeah. So a lot of years in Vancouver lately. So this is not too outside the norm.
Yeah.
Used to this.
Vancouver is a big filming city, I've heard.
Very, very big.
I
Yeah.
guess what was the most recent thing that you've filmed there that you can talk about?
Superman and Lois.
That makes sense.
Superman and Lois, yeah.
Very cool.
4 years up there. So, and then 4 years of guest starring on other things and some movies. So yeah,
Makes
a lot of time up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of cities in the world that you wouldn't guess, like Cape Town, South Africa,
Yeah.
big filming city,
Ton of stuff
Vancouver, Atlanta.
Atlanta, big one,
just
did a
wouldn't
show
guess.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Well, is it your first time in Columbus?
This is my first time at Columbus. I've been to
Nice.
Cleveland a couple times. I was in Cincinnati this year, so making the rounds. Yeah,
Nice.
there's like a few more to go. I don't
A
know.
lot
Maybe we'll
of-
go to Dayton next. I don't know.
Ooh, I was gonna say, have you been able to leave I guess the con bubble?
So
Is what I say.
I actually do have a funny story about getting here. I was supposed to get here last night. I had a 2:15 flight, and I've never had this happen. I went through security, and the person behind me apparently had the same kind of bag that I had. So when I went to get my bag off the thing, it was like half as heavy as it should have been. I was like, oh, that's weird. And so I opened it, not my clothes. Someone took my bag at TSA and it already like run out. So I spent an hour running around LAX
Looking for your
trying
exact
to
bag.
find my
Have
bag,
you
which
seen
looks
this
like
bag?
every carry-on bag that
Oh,
everyone has.
wow. Did you find him?
I found him an hour later, but I missed my flight because it was when my flight had already taken off. So I ended up taking a red eye to get here. So it was a bit of an unexpected journey to get here. But he's a nice guy. He felt bad. It's all right. It
That's
happens.
fair.
It happens.
Oh my goodness. Was
Yeah.
it all your clothes for this weekend too?
All
Did
of
you
my
check
clothes,
a bag?
literally
Oh, no.
everything. No,
Did
it
he
was
look like he
all
was
my
your
stuff.
size if you hadn't found him?
No.
Okay.
Not
You would have had to have
exactly.
gone to the mall.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh no, I
That's
would have been completely out of luck. Like
Yeah.
I would have been wearing whatever I wore on the plane all weekend. Would have been what it was. But yeah. So check your bags. Check your bags at TSA.
Yeah.
Make sure it's yours. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of stickers to put on my bag tomorrow.
Very fun. There we go. Some keychains.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I would love to get into kind of how you got into acting. You started very young, a baby. That's crazy. Can you tell us kind of your acting origin story before I throw it over to the audience?
Yeah. I mean, like the original. I did commercials as a baby. I guess my parents told me I have no memory of that.
You need royalties.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, God, where are those residual checks now? No, I started really acting when I was probably 8 or 9. Is when I got my first job, and I honestly randomly fell into it. I got invited to an audition for an acting school, and the only reason we were able to go is because I had a baseball game that got rained out in the desert. Played my whole life out there. Maybe 3 times that happened. So. Very, very serendipitous, but started acting at a young age, and then just kind of one thing led to another, and I think when I did a movie called Road to Perdition, that was when I was like,
Good
oh,
movie.
thank you.
Great movie.
Golf clap, nice, thank you.
Very good movie. You were Tom Hanks' son.
I was,
in that movie. Yeah.
yes.
Crazy, one of the first jobs ever. Crazy one.
Yeah,
Very
crazy
cool.
one to get just a few years in, but no, it was an amazing experience. Worked with incredible people on both sides of the camera. And I think that was kind of like all right, so someday I'll do this, I'll really do this. But I was always playing baseball really seriously as a kid, so that was always like priority number one. So yeah, eventually that's kind of had its time and then started doing this full time. And that was Teen Wolf was the first thing I did when I stopped playing baseball.
That's awesome. I heard that you had to, because you were in Seventh Heaven, you had to shoot around your baseball schedule. You were very seriously considering baseball as your career for life. Yeah. Was that a choice that you made, or was that a choice you were forced to choose?
Oh my God, I love baseball.
Like I didn't know if it was an injury or okay.
Oh, I see. So I was injured going into my junior year.
Sure.
And I had taken some meetings that I usually wouldn't have asked to take, but my coach understood and he was really cool about it. But we eventually had a conversation about things, and he was like, "Look, you can stay here and finish." He's like, "Will you play some pro ball?" Like probably, but major leagues and making a living playing baseball, like 1% of guys who get drafted make a living playing baseball. He's like, "I think you've got a unique opportunity in LA where people don't always get it, and I think you should see what you could do if you actually gave that your full attention." And so I did, and that was like a few months later is when I booked Teen Wolf, and that was kind of like the start of the whole second chapter of this thing called acting. Yeah.
I heard while you were deciding that you turned down the role of Emmett Cullen. Is that true, or is that internet falsities?
Yeah. That was part of the decision making. So that was going into my sophomore year. Our team was, preseason top 10 in the country, supposed to go back to the College World Series, and I had just won the job as a starting second baseman. Our backup was hurt, so for me to have left would have been kind of leaving the team high and dry for 4 weeks, and that would not have been. I never could have done that, and I wasn't ready to either. Baseball was my number one passion. Like, that's what I wanted to pursue the most. So it made sense at the time to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out perfectly, I think, because we love Kellen Lutz as Emmett, and
my God,
also
he's the
you
best.
wouldn't have been able to been Derek Hale.
100%.
I think it worked out perfectly.
It worked out great. Kellen is, if you guys haven't said hi to Kellen at these things, go say hi to him. He's like the nicest guy. Yeah, and that whole cast is. I've met a lot of them over the years, and they're very, very sweet. So it would have been a lot of fun. Would have enjoyed working with all of them, but no, I was happy that good guy got it.
Pieces fell into place for both of you, I'd say. And before I turn it over to the audience, I have one last question. Since you played baseball, you've done a lot of baseball-based movies and television shows. Did your love of baseball play into the decision factoring of trying to go for those roles or doing those roles? And did you feel like it really prepared you, or were you like, I can show off now?
I felt like I had a bit of an advantage in going in for those.
I don't need to train. You guys go rehearse with stunt crew.
So one of them, they did have a baseball tryout thing, but the guy was like, "You're fine." And
you can go get a coffee.
That was on Undrafted that my buddy Joe Mazzello directed, and we were set up to meet for that initially because we had the same agent, and he's like, I got a client who used to play college baseball, so when we met, he was like, we're going to do like a baseball tryout day. He's like, but you don't have to go. You're fine.
You helped me analyze the other actor.
Yeah, so I did get to skip that one. But yeah, no, I don't think it's necessarily, those things have kind of just come up. I didn't necessarily, seek any of those out or develop any of those. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a big sports fan in general. I think there's amazing storytelling in sports. I think that, I'm incredibly inspired by athletes and just the pursuit and the team pursuit and, individuals who like golf and tennis and everything, but I love the team pursuit of something, and so sports is just one of my favorite things, and so so I love that genre.
Do you have a favorite one that obviously you weren't in, sports movie or television show that's really inspiring? Mine's Rudy, if it makes you.
That's great. So, I'm a USC fan, so Notre Dame's like a little tough to swallow, but Bull Durham is one of my favorite baseball movies. I love Bull Durham. Major League 2, sorry if anybody's like a Major League original fan, but like I grew up with the second one, so that was always my favorite. Angels in the Outfield was a great one too, though. Like, that's just like, come on.
Classic.
Come on. There's so many people in that. If you go back and watch that again, Matthew McConaughey is in that. Adrian Brody is in that. Dude, I mean, it goes on and on and on. Who's in that movie? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well, I will not keep y'all. Y'all have been so patient standing there. I won't keep you waiting any longer. Go ahead and introduce yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, Tyler. It's AJ. Nice
to
see you again.
Good to see you, man.
So my question to you is, would you be open to a role in a Star Wars movie or TV show if it was offered to you?
Really? Yeah,
no way.
Of course. Yes.
No way.
Yes, 1,000%. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to joke and say no. Of course, I would absolutely do that. Yeah.
Who do you see him portraying? Like, and what kind of character?
Maybe Knights of the Old Republic or the Book of Boba Fett.
Let's go.
There we go.
Let's go.
Thank you.
If you know who to call,
get on social media.
You're welcome to make that call.
Demand it on social media.
I'll go to Twitter and do it.
Let's
do it, man. Let's do it. I'm 100% in.
Hi there. Perfect. Yes, you can grab it, I think, by the handle and pull it up. It should slide up and down. And if you can't, you're more than welcome to take it off the stand.
Hi, I'm May. I have a bit of a silly question. I know Superman doesn't need food, but what do you think Clark Kent's favorite breakfast food is?
Breakfast burrito.
Like sausage or bacon or like
both.
Okay.
All of the above.
Hash browns, the whole thing.
Hello, I'm Alexis. I just want to know what was your favorite scene to shoot in Teen Wolf?
Favorite scene? It's always hard to pick out a favorite scene. I did really love the scene I got to do with J.R. Bourne with I think it was season 3 where everyone's possessed by the Nagitsune.
Yes.
I did enjoy that because I got to just really have some fun with that, and J.R. is such a great actor to work with, so that was really cool. But I think I actually do kind of always tend to lean towards the season 2 finale just because the big
Yeah.
fight scene at the end, it was basically 4 nights in a row of us just shooting past sunrise and trying to get this scene done in some miraculous way or another, and just working through delirium and everything. So it was that was fun. Like the nights and the shoots that are always like the most challenging, in hindsight, are always the ones I think you kind of remember the most. You're like, that was insane that we even tried to do that, but it was a lot of fun.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like those late night scenes, while very grueling, also kind of seem like summer camp in a way when you look
Yes.
back at it. It
Yes.
seems like they stick with a lot of actors the most.
It stops feeling like work at a certain point just because you're so out of it that, I mean, you're actually just trying not to laugh your way through it because like, everyone is actually delirious. I mean, I'm a night owl, so I like night shoots. I'm one of those weird people. I actually like night shoots. But for most people that don't like staying up that late, it's actually fun for me to watch them just try to get to 8 or 9 a.m.
They're an early bird.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi there.
Hi, my name's Paige, and my question is, if you could write your own ending to Teen Wolf, what would it be?
Derek betrays Scott and becomes the alpha. I'm kidding. All right, settle down. Settle down. Are we talking about the show or the movie?
I was about to say, you had a hand also in producing the movie, too,
I did.
right?
There's a long story there, but yes,
okay.
I did get to do some fun stuff with casting, especially. That was really fun. Vince, who played my son in that, was really great, and it was nice. It was nice after this many years in the business to actually be on the side of watching the tapes and doing that. And Jeff Davis, our showrunner, was actually kind enough to let me kind of run the chemistry sessions with him and the other actors for that role, and that was really fun. It was nice to actually have a hand in that and just experience that from the other side after so many years being in there.
But they didn't let you write the ending, sadly.
They did not. They did not. But I have an idea of what's going on now, so
Yeah, so the show, if you could write
The
your
show?
own ending to the show, yeah.
I mean, I was happy with kind of how they ended the show. I felt like it was nice to feel like they had kind of put a bow on it, but at the same time not like just really shut the door. But I think I don't know. We'll see if that ends up being the ending or not. You never know. I know there's still Posey's been pretty vocal about more stuff going on, and I know from the beginning there was always the idea that it wouldn't just maybe be only one movie. So we'll see if more things come out, but I think we could still find some exciting stuff to do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Robert.
Hello, sir.
And my question for you is, you said that when you got Superman, you intentionally avoided watching any other incarnations. Since that's kind of over now, have you watched anybody else's and said, "Oh, that's really cool," or "I could have done that"?
I plan to. I haven't yet. I did see the new one. I thought David did a great job. I thought David did a really nice job, and he seems like such a nice guy. And I'm a huge fan of Rachel and Nick, and I thought Nathan Fillion was hilarious. Nathan's always great, and so I enjoyed their performances. But I've not gone back to see. I still want to go back and see Reeve and everybody, and but I just haven't. Maybe it hasn't been like quite long enough yet to go back and start that. But at some point, I definitely would love to. I've seen the Reeve documentary, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the Christopher Reeve documentary, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's such a, I mean, what a legend of a human being. Just like the nicest guy. So highly recommend that if you haven't seen it.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn.
Hi.
So you obviously played Derek in Teen Wolf. If there was anyone else you would have played, who would it be?
Okay, I always say Styles. Because, I mean, he had the most fun. I mean, I think Styles had the most fun on the show for sure. I think we were all always a little jealous of the things that were in the scripts for him. He was just great. And Dylan always brought so much to it himself, too, which was really fun to watch. But I don't know. I honestly, there's like a cheesy answer, but I loved what everybody else did so much, and I loved being in the character that I was to kind of like observe that and take that in. So I don't know that I would have actually really wanted to play anybody else, but I would say that we probably unanimously agree like the most fun of anybody on the show. I think Styles had that for sure.
It's hard because you're like, I don't want to take it from them, but I want to be them for a day.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
get
for a
away
day.
with what they get to get away with.
Just for a day. Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. So when preparing for the role of Superman, who or what did you look to as an example of hope?
My dad.
Your dad.
Yeah, really easy answer. For me, playing that character was always kind of just like channeling my dad. So, I was really grateful to have that example, and honestly kind of made it really easy. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great answer.
Papa Hoechlin.
It's a great answer.
Hi there. Oh,
Hi.
Star
Well
Wars
done.
DC
Thank
mashup.
you.
That's very good.
Done.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure. So of the unused storylines, and Superman and Lois was kind of ended abruptly, what can you tell us about that? Like where it was going to go?
I honestly don't know many of the details of what else we were supposed to do. I've heard everybody talk about Brainiac. I know everybody's kind of talked about that being something that we maybe didn't get to do that was maybe on the list. Personally, I always wanted to see like what happens when the boys go off to college. I was always really curious to see like that dynamic between Clark and Lois, with them, the boys being out of the house and it just being them. Do they go back to Metropolis? Do they stay in Smallville? So I thought that storyline would have been really cool. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm a big like arch nemesis, arch rival guy. So the fact that we got Lex and Doomsday, I got my two big wishes out of that. For a minute, I think there was a moment where maybe we weren't going to get either one of them. So the fact that we got both of them in the course of the show was super cool.
Did they have to like license? I guess no, because it's a property.
Technically, but yeah, like
Yeah.
they have to get permission from DC
That
to
makes
use the
sense.
characters in the show. So we are still kind of beholden to whichever ones they go like, yeah, you can have that one, or no, we're keeping that one. So
I also think that they like to keep those storylines that weren't released close to the chest, because with social media and everything now, you never know if a show will return, right? So
Yeah,
it's like
you
they don't
never
want to
know.
blow their secrets out.
it can come back. There's
Yeah,
other
who's to
iterations,
say?
so they might do it in something else. But yeah, I think we definitely had some cool things left to do. But I'm also very glad, especially knowing that we could have been done after season 3 on a really harsh cliffhanger for you guys. That we got the 4th season to kind of wrap it up.
Thank
Great
you.
question. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
Hi,
Hello.
my voice is going out. Sorry.
That's okay. I'll be there probably by halfway tomorrow.
I bet. So, it's Seventh Heaven. Did you ever get a scene or a storyline where you're just like, "What the hell"? Because there was a lot of kooky storylines. Honestly, it was fun, but
Are you saying stories are hard to come up with after 10 years? Is that what you're saying?
no, not at all.
No, funny enough, what did start happening on Seventh Heaven that I noticed, though, was things going on like in our personal lives would suddenly be kind of going on in our characters' lives. So like, from what I remember, Martin had nothing to do with baseball in the first season. Like, that was not a part of his life at all. And maybe it was as early as my 2nd season on the show, but like, suddenly it was kind of like, oh, he's playing high school baseball and he's getting recruited by these. I was like, oh, okay, this is like, so I'm just doing the same thing here that I'm doing at home now. Like, it's just like coming back and forth.
The writers have bugged the
It
trailer.
was like, yeah, it was a little bit of a little extra, like, hey, what are you guys up to? When you're not here. But yeah, no, I think, look, I mean, could you imagine a show now running 11 seasons? Like, I mean, there's Grey's Anatomy. I don't know what else is even kind of close to that now. I mean, Supernatural
live
obviously had
action
a,
show.
yeah, right. So I mean, that's especially back then. I mean, it's crazy to me that anybody ever did 22 to 24 episodes in a season and did it for 10 or. I guess,
It almost got chopped a couple times, but it just kept going.
It just kept going,
It was
man. It just kept going.
The little engine that could.
It was, yeah. I mean, hey, like I'm super grateful that show went from my sophomore year of high school through my freshman year in college. They were always really great about being, kind of cheerleaders for me and helping me get to my baseball games and my practices and stuff. They moved the schedule around as much as they could to make sure I could do that. So I was always really grateful for that. My freshman year, actually, at Arizona State, when I was playing there, our only day off was Monday, and Haley Duff was on Broadway, and their only day off was Monday. So coincidentally, we had the same day to shoot. They still shot in LA. They built a set for us in New York, and they would pick me up from practice on Sunday nights, and I would take a red eye to New York. They would drive me past the hotel, because legally we had to go there first, and we just drive by it and go straight to set. And then I'd go film all day with Haley, and then they would drive me back to the airport. I'd fly back to Arizona and then start, weights and classes and everything on Tuesday again.
Did you have a social life?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I had a great time. But so like they were very supportive, of making that happen for me. So I was always really grateful that I could do do the show and then still pursue, that and have a regular, life as a college student and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
With Seventh Heaven, was it Seventh Heaven or Teen Wolf that you had a Teen Choice Award nomination? Do you remember?
There might have been something for Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
I know that we won choice summer TV show with Teen Wolf.
I was wondering because
Yeah.
I didn't think about you being in high school at the time. Were you the coolest kid in high school?
No. I feel people were aware because I was, I wasn't in LA. I was outside of LA, so everyone knew I was the kid that was doing the acting stuff too. But
that would give you street cred.
yeah, nah,
Whatever.
no.
They were
Actually,
wrong.
the best part was honestly the thing I missed the most. It was great. So I think the show aired on Monday nights, and so on Tuesday when I would go to practice, it'd always be like, oh boy, here we go. Because as soon as we'd go out and do stretches and stuff, everybody for the entire session was just reciting everything I said on the show the night before and just giving me hell. And I was like, yeah, I get it.
Tell it to my paycheck.
Oh, but it was the
guys.
best though. But it was the best. I miss all my teammates and stuff. And those are your close friends. And you're
It's the love language of sports players.
yes.
I
Oh
think.
my God. Yeah. Now if one of them would have complimented me, I'd be like, what's going on? What are you
Whoa.
doing? It's weird.
We're not really friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi there.
Hi. So I've never seen a single episode of Teen Wolf.
Me neither. I'm kidding.
Good to know. But I know you're in it, and I also know Cody Christian is in it.
Yes, sir.
So what I wanted to ask you is it weird that you guys are now arch rivals as Sephiroth and Cloud?
Yeah, that was super cool to have somebody on that. But it's crazy because with the voice stuff, you're never really working with anybody. You're going in and doing a solo session. I would say probably 95% of the time, I don't even hear the other person's line read. You're really just doing yours, and then they're kind of mixing and matching. So never really got to work with him on it, but it was cool to have some kind of connection there and be like, oh, this is kind of coming full circle and running into somebody again, which was really nice. But he's done a great job with that. I feel like people love what he's done, and yeah, it's cool. It's always cool to run into people, whether you actually see them in person or not. It's nice to reunite with people on projects.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, man.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
My name is Cheyenne, and I have been a Teen Wolf addict ever since I was a kid.
Nice.
And I think what I've always wondered is, I feel like Derek became a huge father in the first, the second, third, and every season afterwards. But if it wasn't for Eli, do you think he would have made that ultimate sacrifice at the end of the show?
Yeah. I think he would have. Maybe even more so. Yeah. To me, I always said I don't think Derek was looking for friends or anything. I think he was looking for the people he would die for. I think that was kind of his bar. Just having lost his family and everything, it was who are those people that I would actually give it all up for. So I think with the people in that show, eventually he found that. So to me, it seemed like a very fitting thing for him to do.
It's his style.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing. He's also dramatic. He's got to make an entrance and yeah.
Well, thank you.
Great question.
Of course.
Thanks,
Thank
Cheyenne.
you.
Oh, no, very nice recording for her. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Adrian. Big fan of your portrayal of Superman. I think it's one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh, thank you, man.
With a lot of Superman portrayals. So I guess my question is, how is that your approach to playing that role? Because you had a really long run, and also playing him in different shows and crossovers. So I guess how is that portrayal, your approach to playing Superman changed from when you first started on Supergirl to getting your own show with Lois? So kind of the evolution, I guess, of playing that role.
Yeah. So with the shows, so originally I was, anybody's heard the story. I was supposed to do 2 episodes on Supergirl. That was it. That was my contract. 2 episodes. I was gonna be in and out. Be cool. I did it. I played a superhero. Played Superman. That's kind of cool to put on the resume. My kids will think that's cool one day.
Yeah.
But with that show, to me it was always I'm here to support Melissa. That's my number one job here. Is it's called Supergirl. It's her show. Melissa's the best, by the way. I don't know if anybody's ever met her at any of these or anything, but she's the best. So she made it really easy. But that's your job. Your job is to be there and enhance anything in the scene that you can to help them shine brighter than they do already on their own. And so always very aware of that with that and with the crossovers and everything. Obviously that character is a very iconic character, but none of those shows were called Superman. So it was always like very much like, I'm here to help. That's it. With our show, the scenes are about them. And so it was a little bit more time to, focus on that. And I guess like you could use the word maybe being selfish in scenes, but like those characters are now the focus of the scenes, and we get more time to really dive into who they are and the nuances there and stuff, where like with the other ones, it's kind of more big picture. And with this one, you could really take your time with things, and like you could layer that and know that things weren't going to pay off until a few episodes later. Whereas with the other stuff, it's like it is what it is in this scene, because we're not building towards anything. We're not going anywhere necessarily. So yeah, just kind of like keeping that in mind, just knowing that you're slowly revealing things about these characters, and as an actor, that's great because you don't have to try to do so much up front. You can know that you can kind of spread that out over time and give a little more mystery to it, and yeah.
Thank you.
Great question. When you got the role of Superman, I'm not sure if you went through an audition process or if you were contacted for it, but if you did go through an audition process, were they open about it being Superman, or was it a secret? Because sometimes they keep it a secret, a big reveal.
Yeah, all I knew was that I had a general meeting with Greg Berlanti. That was it. I had a general meeting with Greg, and about 20 minutes before I went in, my agent called me. He's like, "Hey, I think I might know what your meeting's about." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "They just announced that they're gonna have Superman on Supergirl." And I was like, "Oh, well, we'll see."
Where are my glasses?
We'll see. Yeah.
Glasses to put on.
And so I went in. We talked for like a half an hour. Had just a great chat, just about just anything really, just talking about life, chatting about work and everything. And then he brought it up. He's like, "So we're gonna introduce Superman on Supergirl. Is that something you'd be interested in?" I was like, "Sure. Yeah, let's talk about it." So we talked about the character. I had auditioned for Man of Steel, so I was familiar with the character through that process, and also, I mean, you know Superman, but it was just from a character point of view, I was familiar through that process. We talked about it for like a half an hour, had a great chat, and I left. And then a few weeks later, my manager called and said they're offering it to you if you want it. And I was like,
awesome.
"Oh, really?
No
That's crazy."
reading. It was a personality hire.
Yeah, it
That's
was
very
wild.
cool.
Yeah, that was one of the. Yeah, it was crazy to me that happened on that job with that character. But yeah, just I was, it's kind of what gave me confidence going into the character, going into playing the character from the beginning, was just knowing that they obviously liked my take on who he was and what he stood for and things like that. So there was it was nice knowing that I had the confidence and support of the people that were in charge of making that decision from the beginning. So yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's crazy.
That's awesome. Hello again.
Have we met before? You look very familiar. Yeah.
Got in line again.
This is not the droid you're looking for.
If you could pick a Star Wars character or type or category of Star Wars character to play in a role, live action or animation, who would it be or what would it be?
Han Solo would have been my guy. Yeah. I find that I'm a big fan of a lot of Harrison Ford characters.
Me too.
Indiana Jones, that's on my list for sure. But yeah, I actually had when they were casting the Han Solo movie a few years ago. That was actually one of my favorite auditions because it had nothing to do with like actually being Han Solo. It was like, I forget what it was. It was like it was basically like an improvised audition. Like you just kind of went in and they give you like a scenario, but it was so much fun knowing like kind of the energy of Han. That was one of my favorite auditions. Obviously didn't end up doing it, but I had a really, really great time in the room on that one.
That's a cool story. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi there.
My name is Mo. I have two questions. So in Teen Wolf, we met a lot of characters, especially alphas that were bad and turned good. And there was one alpha's death that didn't sit right with me. Hoechlin. That seemed an easy death. Is he actually? Do you think he's actually dead? Because I don't.
Hoechlin?
Yeah, because I can't believe it.
I mean, kind of. This is like. So I steal from one of my favorite shows to always talk about like death in Teen Wolf. It's kind of like, what is dead may never die. The idea of like a death being permanent on Teen Wolf is, I don't know. I just don't think we do that. I think we've kind of proven that.
The Dragon Balls.
Yeah. We've kind of like we've opened Pandora's box, and now it's kind of like, well, you're dead for now. So you never know.
Because
he's on ice.
Yeah, he's in timeout.
Have you seen Wolfpack? I think it was canceled.
I haven't seen it.
That actor turns up in that show.
Okay.
As well. I'm like, is it him? Memories wipe, maybe.
If you feel like it's him, maybe. Yeah, they
I can be
relate.
delusional. My second question was, if you had, who do you think you could play in the MCU?
Oh,
In the MCU.
traitor, turn sides. I'm just kidding.
They're hiring.
They're both good. Yeah, they're both very good franchises.
I always thought I always have to be very careful when I say this because people are they're so protective, and I understand he's a legend and he's one of my favorite actors of all time. But if when he's like 110, Hugh Jackman ever decides to stop playing Wolverine, that one I always thought would have been pretty dope. I mean, coming from Teen Wolf and stuff, I'm like, yeah, there's some crossover here. I feel like I've gone down this road a little bit, but I think that'd be a really fun character. I think Logan's a great character.
Mutton chops.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
exciting.
Hey, we can play. We can do some screen tests. We'll see what works. I thought that'd be a fun one. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think?
Iron Man.
Let's go.
Iron
Let's
Man.
go. Let's go.
Congratulations
that's a high
on your
bar,
wealth.
man. Yeah, thank you. That's a high bar, man. That's a challenge accepted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Tyler.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. My name's Cheryl, and the question I have for you is, if you could go back and talk to your past self, what type of advice or, words of encouragement would you give yourself?
Relax. Relax. I mean, it's probably me talking to myself even now still. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy thing to say in the moment, but, stressing about things, it really, it doesn't change the outcome. It really doesn't. I'm an overthinker. I've got to constantly tell myself not to do that because, yeah, you can think of, all the different ways that things can go, but at the end of the day, it's what I try to say now is, it already is or it already isn't. The outcome is there's so many things contributing to the way things are going to go, most of them out of your control completely. So the result is kind of already there. And that's not to say that you just kind of let things happen, but I think you're more willing to understand that your part in it is usually a lot smaller than you think it is. So you can make decisions and make choices and pursue that. But about the things that I tend to find that I either was stressing about or worrying about when I was younger, I probably didn't need to.
They don't matter now?
Oh, wait, I mean, yeah, either they don't matter. Yeah, things that seemed really big eventually seem really small. But even just the result, right? The result was probably gonna be the same either way. And it's what I tell young actors now. I was like, if you're going in for a job and stuff, stressing in an audition or whatever, I'm like, if you're prepared, if you do all the prep that you can and you go in and you do the best version of what you want to do in the room, I promise you the job is already yours or it's already not. You were either never going to get that job or you were always going to get that job because it just comes down to your preparation. If you go in and you're not ready and you miss because you're not really present and you're not giving your best, then yeah, you might lose a job that could have been yours. But to me, if the job is yours, it's already yours. And if it's not, it's not. There's so many things that go into it. And again, like I said, being on the side of casting it now, it's so crazy after spending so many years going into rooms and auditioning or sending in a tape to then be watching them. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. How I'm receiving this versus how I feel when I was doing it, especially when I was younger. When I was older, I started getting more relaxed with it because I started adopting this thing of it is yours or it isn't. And the same reason, when I saw Vince's tape, I was like, that's him. That's him. I just felt like that was the guy. And it's there were other young actors that did great work, really good, made me laugh. I thought they were really, really interesting. But when I watched it, I'm like, it's not the character. It's just to me, I've read the script. I know who the character is. I know who all these other characters are. That guy fits. It just felt right. So it's kind of what I try to then put into everything else. It already is or it already isn't. You just kind of have to go with it. And again, be prepared and do everything you can. But all the exterior stuff is too big to fight. You know what I mean? So I just kind of try to just let it be.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
Great question. Thank you. Hi there.
Hey there, I'm Jimmy.
How's it going, man?
My question was, your performance as Derek Hale was so powerful and moving, particularly to me, because I watched it in high school and early college, and I had some anger issues like most kids in high school, and I really related to your character for that specifically. And I was just curious, is there any inspiration that you drew on to like bring that emotional, like angry performance to life?
It's probably gonna sound weird, but probably from sports. Probably just like frustrations, like kind of what I talked about, like frustration when things weren't going right or things like that. When you know, really upset. And then when I was playing ball, like you do have to kind of try to mentally not let those things bother you. When I was playing Derek, I just let them bother me. I was just like, I was like, oh, this is like if I could have actually just had an outburst every time I was really upset with the way that things went on the field or something. So yeah, I think just letting go of that restraint. Like I said, I had a lot of practice, like actually working on that when I was younger and when I needed to, and then the opportunity presented itself with the character to actually let that go. So yeah, that was kind of like a freeing experience to be like, oh wow, this is what it would have been like, and it would not have been productive. Probably not for the best.
Definitely relate to the baseball part. I played for 14 years.
All right, there you go, man. What position?
First and third, and no one could throw it to third. It was so infuriating.
Oh no, no.
Man.
Thank you so
nice,
much.
man. It was nice to meet you, brother.
Because I think that sometimes the most angry or like bad character,
Yeah.
not that he was horribly bad,
Yeah.
are the nicest actors. And I think
There's a
it's
thing
like
about that.
therapy.
Yeah.
They get therapy out. You
Yeah,
know?
you get to let it out.
Yell. Yeah.
You get to let it out. I don't know. I always say it's kind of one of those things to it. Like, they say like when you're playing a bad guy, like you can't really play a bad guy because bad guys don't think they're bad guys. So you kind of have to come to it from their perspective. I think it's an interesting thing I've kind of thought about because I also know some actors who were like amazing villains and they're like the nicest people. And I try to figure that out. I'm like, maybe it's just that like they observe people that are kind of like dicks and like not the nicest people. And so they can see it. Whereas like the person who is that person doesn't see it. So then when they go to play that person, they don't know how to play it.
Them.
Yeah, they don't know how to play it because they're just like, they don't observe it. I don't know. That's just like one of my weird theories about it.
We do only have about 5 minutes left, so I am going to cut the line here and do these last 2 questions. But go right ahead with your question.
Hi again.
Hello again.
I know this is more like an admin type question, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
Why isn't there a Superman Flash photo op?
Here?
Oh, here? He doesn't get to decide that, sadly.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
he's
for
just
sure.
the artist,
For
you know?
sure.
I bet you would want to hang out with him all day.
Dude, I don't know what hotel I'm at. They say go there, and I go, all right, cool, let's go there. But I don't know. I don't know why. But we've done a lot of like some other shows and stuff like I did with Grant and stuff. We'd always have team ups and everything. But I'm not sure why they didn't put me and John together.
My suggestion is you do the same pose in the center,
See, I
and
was
then
thinking
you
about that.
Photoshop them together.
go.
Ask
There
them
you
to
go.
maybe point at
Have
each
a
other.
cutout.
Yeah, exactly. So when you Photoshop it together, it looks like one photo.
There's a good side of AI. You can
Yeah.
just like plug it in the computer and they'll do it
Put
for like
us
2
together.
seconds.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
Dale. So coming towards the end of the CW, do you feel like you kind of missed out on the Arrow ending, the Flash ending, and then, or do you feel like it was actually a blessing because you got to do your own thing?
I don't know that I'd phrase it either way, to be honest with you. I did get to experience the crossover stuff, quite a bit with the Elseworlds and with Crisis. So I did get to tag along for a little bit of that, which was really fun. Like I said, I got to work with the really great people, and it was cool showing up on set and being one of like 20 people in a super suit. It was pretty rad. So that was a fun experience. But I think there's also benefits to the fact that we, kind of got to do our own thing with the 4 seasons of Superman and Lois. I mean, there were so many episodes and so many seasons of the other shows at that point. I think to be beholden to that would have obviously put some constraints on us. But yeah, I was excited that I got to experience what the Arrowverse was, and I was also excited that we got to, tonally do something a little bit different with ours, only because I had done, even though I wasn't there all the time, I had done 4 years of that, and so it was nice that even though we were stepping into like familiar shoes of the same characters, still feeling like it was new and fresh for us. So, that was kind of nice knowing that we were stepping into that for a couple seasons, that it was going to be something that was like, oh, okay, like it's familiar, but it's definitely different. I think, when you're on a show, sometimes that can be one of the downsides is you end up feeling like you're stuck doing the same thing over and over again. So it was nice knowing that even though it was our, 5th year with the characters, it was still kind of felt like day one. So.
Great
Yeah, because they
question.
kind of set up like, the round table with all the, heroes.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty much one of the last team ups.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, who knows what would have happened if if COVID hadn't been a thing then. Like crossovers were like literally impossible to do that season. I mean, we could barely keep our own crew and cast on set, so to then have people crossing over from sets, there's no chance that ever would have happened. It was pretty tight up there in Vancouver, so that just made it impossible for a season, and I think that kind of just really kind of locked it into like, all right, this is going to be this. Personally, I was always playing it that way, just because if you watched Crisis at the end, he's surprised when Lois says that they have 2 kids. And in our show, in the opening voiceover and everything, there's nothing alluding to, oh, yeah, I went to bed one day and had 1 baby, and I woke up the next day and we had 2. And so it was just, to me, that felt like, especially with what we were doing with them struggling as parents, it just felt like, especially there was a scene where Clark and Lois are kind of out on the farm and they're out looking out together, and he's just talking about why he just feels like he's really struggling to be there for his kids and be a good dad. And I just felt like that scene in particular, there would have been some kind of mention of the fact that they were in this scenario, and the fact that we never did, and all of their memories were with like the 2 of them from birth all the way through. It never tracked for me that it would have been the same version of the characters. So for me, whether that decision was made on day 1 or later, whatever anybody's story is, I always played it from day 1 that they were completely different versions, because it just never made sense to me.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, man.
Great
Appreciate the
question.
questions.
Thank you. And thank you so much for joining
thank
us like a
you.
consummate professional.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Like on the dot.
I know you live in the world of NDAs, but is there anything that you would love for the audience to know that you can talk about that's coming up?
Supposed to be starting production on a movie sometime in the early part of next year called It Happened One Summer. So that should be fun. A little rom-com with my good friend Nina Dobrev and some producers and director that I've worked with in the past. So excited to re-team up with those guys. So yeah, that's the next one, and then we'll see from there.
One more round of applause, everyone, for Tyler
Thank you so much, guys.
Hoechlin.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Please go visit him at his booth. You'll be there for the rest of the weekend, right? Perfect. Okay. One more round of applause, everyone.